The time is exactly 10 after 8 o'clock South African time. We cross over to Palestine and we're looking at the issue around hundreds of Palestinian refugees organized a protest on Monday in front of the main gate of the head office of the United Nations Relief and Works Agencies in Gaza. The gate of this organization was set on fire during the protest. Let's understand why this protest happened and do the people of Palestine believe that they can expect some support or further support. It has to do with the rebuilding of their homes, which were destroyed. Wafa Al-Udaini, who is a Gaza-based journalist, is online to talk to us about this very serious matter. Assalamu alaikum, dear sister. Welcome to the program. Nice to be talking with you once again.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's talk about that protest outside of the offices of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. What is the situation and why was this protest taking place at that particular agency?
Mhm. Um, okay, first of all, this is not the first time for Palestinians here in the besieged Gaza Strip to protest in front of the gate of the headquarters of UNRWA, which is the only regime that is the Palestinian refugees depend on. And indeed, the UNRWA is the only UN agency to have a specific mandate to look after the basic needs of the Palestinian refugees here in the besieged Gaza Strip. So from time to time, the people here protest in order to speak up for their rights because, so many of the people who got their houses destroyed by the occupation war plans in 2014, 2021 aggressions on the Gaza Strip, they still don't have their homes destroyed again. So, it's more than 7 years now, and they still live in rented houses, and they still need their houses to be rebuilt again. But the UNRWA and they just delay this issue many times, so they get angry by the time. And what happened this week, 2 days ago, actually, Palestinian who got their homes destroyed. Indeed, they burned tires in front of the gate of the UNRWA headquarters office here in Gaza. They cause no chaos or tension here, but they just they just burn these tires just to raise awareness regarding their suffering after they having their homes after being displaced for all these long years. So this is exactly what happened.
Okay, so Wafa, let's just get the story straight. Um, International news agencies are reporting that the protesters burned the gates of the UNRWA compound. It was set on fire during the protest, but you were saying they just burnt a few tires outside of the compound. How much of damage was caused? Was there extensive damage or not?
Not the damage, because they just burn tires and, like maybe just kind of like, I'm not sure, but I send you many videos and photos regarding this. You can just show them for your audience. And as you see here, the tires or the car wheels here, like they just burn them and they cause much smoke. We saw the sky is kind of like black because of the smoke, but no serious damage happened to the gate. And like for your information, actually the UNRWA gates and the UNRWA buildings and the places here and the Gaza Strip, really, it's so protected by many things, by construction, by everything. They are really good protected. So not that damaged. So you can see the pictures by yourself right now. Uh, Yeah.
Okay, we understand the protesters has said that UNRWA claims that international donors will not pay for the homes destroyed in 2014 because that is an old issue. Clearly, this doesn't sit well with the people whose homes have been destroyed. Thus, they have gone out in protest. And I guess the reason why they burnt those tires was just to express their anger, their frustration, and the fact that they're not being heard and they're not being supported.
Mhm. Yeah, actually, for Palestinians, whenever they want to raise awareness and against any issue here in happening here in Palestine, they just use these tires and they burn them in order to shed the light on their suffering and their desperation regard what is happening here on the ground. So this is just kind of like like popular resistance. They harm nobody, but it's kind of like asking the world to look exactly to what is happening here in the besieged Gaza Strip. So, yeah.
Regarding the protest on Monday and the burning of tires, has the people had any response from UNRWA? Did they actually come out and meet with the Palestinians? Have they perhaps put anything in writing? Maybe even to suggest we will look into the matter and we'll try to do the best we can regarding the rebuilding of your homes and allow you the opportunity to perhaps restart or continue with your lives in as normal a way as possible.
Mhm. Yes, actually, the people here used to these statements by the UNRWA spokespersons. They used to tell the people to be patient. We are working our best to rebuild your homes and stuff like this. But like it's just like it's a long years so far. I mean, like I'm talking to you like 2014 aggression. I mean, in 2014, it means like over than 7 years so far, and the people, yeah, I mean, they just wait for so long. Are they going to wait for more years? Yeah, until they become maybe older and until another aggressions come again and again. Like we just survived another aggressions after 2014. We have 2018 and we had 2021 and recently we have 2022. So all of these aggressions occurred after the 2014, and now we are talking about another aggressions and another homes got destroyed, and still the people are waiting their homes to be rebuilt by the UNRWA. And nobody act, nobody even just give them like kind of hope that we are going to rebuild your homes. They just say we have a financial crisis. The donors are not going to pay for us for reconstructing your homes, and they just hear like promises from the UNRWA. But like they fed up indeed, and they got angry more and more. So that's why they just protest and took the streets in order to speak loud, to speak out for their rights exactly. Um, because as I said before, that the UNRWA is the only UN agency to have a specific mandate here in Palestine, and they take on their responsibility that they have to take care of the Palestinian refugees, those refugees who got displaced from their homes in 1948. So, and it's really a political issue here because it's more than the UNRWA indeed. They use the UNRWA actually to put a pressure on the people of Gaza here to just to hate being living here and in the Gaza Strip. I mean, like the Israeli occupation authorities, indeed, they use the reconstruction process as a leverage and a bargaining chip during times of political and security crisis. So they just use this in order to make the people, under their mercy. Like you can't do anything, you can't resist the occupation, You can't do anything. We control every single thing here in the Gaza Strip. So you have to obey our orders. You have to stop your resistance. You have to stop asking the ending of the occupation. So this is the main aim behind delaying the reconstruction process.
Wafa, what do you make of the statement that UNRWA has put out, claiming that international donors will not pay for the homes destroyed in 2014 because they are old, or that international donor funds are very limited now and they can't support, the rebuilding of homes? How do you respond to that?
Yeah, this is really unfair indeed because when we talk that, like who is going to rebuild the homes of those refugees who got their homes destroyed? Like this is really unfair and this is unjust indeed. So they have, no matter they are old or new, they have to rebuild these houses. Uh, the idea here, they said that they cannot. So that's why the people get angry and they took the street and protest in front of their offices here in Gaza. So,
Are you hoping Are you hoping for hopefully action from UNRWA? Do you think that after Monday's protest, they'll sit up and realize that they need to do something to appease the anger and the impatience of the people of Gaza? Obviously, they have to do something. They can't leave the people in limbo.
yes, they have to, but like as you said, they said that we can't, rebuild these houses because it was like old aggression, and then they just kept like during the times they kept delaying the people until it becomes old, issue. So this is the problem. And indeed, according to the international laws, they have to, whether it is old or new, they have to rebuild these houses that got destroyed by the occupation forces. So actually, the people here, by their protest, indeed, they hope that they can put a pressure on the UNRWA and then make them act and like ask the donors to more and more to help them rebuilding the destroyed homes. So indeed, but I'm really not sure that this thing will help. But at least the people here have to speak out. They don't have to be silent here in Gaza. They have to speak out. So in a hope that the whole world act and helping, supporting them to rebuilding their homes. But for the UNRWA, they use the same justifications each time anybody asks them to take responsibility for the Palestinian refugees. They just say that it's the donors and we can't pay. We don't have enough donation. The countries have to pay for us in order to pay for Palestinians. So they just make this thing as justification for people. And in the past, they just said when Trump was the president of the U.S. They said that because he cut the fund for the Palestinians, so we can't pay more. Okay, but now Biden administration, they just refund the Palestinian, the UNRWA again, and they give them what Trump cut. But the same issue become the same. Nothing changed, and indeed they keep saying that we don't have enough donation to rebuilding the Palestinian homes.
Okay. Let me just make this final comment and you can then respond to it and we'll have to wrap up. It is understood that the Israeli offensive killed 2,260 Palestinians in 51 days of the bombardment. At least 12,000 housing units were destroyed completely, with another 160,000 damaged, obviously. Would that be collectively in the years 2014, 2021, and 2022, or does that just speak to the year 2014?
Yeah, it was only just 2014. Like we have more and more indeed. Like recently, we have dozens of homes that got destroyed, and still the people do not speak out, and nobody saying anything about reconstruction their homes. So the housing units that you were talking about it's only about the 2014 aggression.
Sad to hear. It's a very dire situation indeed. Our support and duas continue with the Palestinian people. Thank you for being with us on the show this morning. That was Wafa Al-Udaini, a Gaza-based journalist, talking to us about that situation, calling for the restructuring of their houses, which were destroyed collectively over 2014, 2021, and 2022.